Chapter 13-1 is standard form for quadratic equations and solving quadratic equations. Okay, in the standard form of a quadratic equation, it's ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. A is a variable in front of the x squared, b is the variable in front of the x, and c is just the regular number. A cannot be 0 because if a is 0, then there wouldn't be an x squared, and then it wouldn't be a quadratic equation. So example 1, you have to write an equation in standard form and determine a, b, and c. So example 1 is 4x squared plus 7x equals 5. So right now it's not in standard form because it doesn't equal 0. So the 5 needs to move over to the other side. And it becomes negative 5. So now we have 4x squared plus 7x minus 5 equals 0. And now that's in standard form. A is the number in front of the x squared, that's 4. B is the number in front of the x, that's 7. And c is the number that is not with a variable, so that's negative 5. Okay, example 2, we also need to put it in the standard form. It's 5x squared equals negative 4x. So we're going to take the negative 4x and bring it to the other side, so it equals 0 on the right-hand side. So now we have 5x squared plus 4x equals 0, and there is no c. The a is the number in front of the x squared, that's 5. The b is the number in front of the x, that's 4. And the c is, there is no c, so it's just 0. Okay, the next set of examples involve solving the quadratic equation. So we're going to go over some of the different ways that they ask for the solution. One is they'll mention zero product property. That means that if you have a times b equals 0, if a is 0, it doesn't matter what b is, because the answer would become 0. If b is 0, it also doesn't matter what a is, because a times 0 is 0. So either the first term or the second term, either one of the terms can be 0, it would make the whole answer 0. So that's called zero product property. The other way they'll ask to on the CSTs is it'll say find the solutions, or find the solution with an S, could be one, could be more than one. They'll say find the roots, which is the same thing as zero product property. It'll say solve, or the last one is find the x-intercepts. Okay, they all mean the same thing. So in order to solve, you're going to use zero product property to find the solutions, find the roots, solve, find the x-intercepts. So example 3 is 20x squared minus 15x equals 0. Step 1 is to find the GCF. And the greatest common factor of 20x squared minus 15x is 5x, which goes into 20x squared 4x times, minus 5x goes into 15x 3 times, equals 0. So there are two answers that work. This is the first part. 5x can equal 0. The second part is 4x minus 3 equals 0. That's like what I was showing, where either the a part can be 0 or the b part can be 0. Okay, on 5x equals 0, divide both sides by 5. And you get x equals 0. On this one, you're going to add 3 and divide by 4. So you get x equals 3/4. So the two answers, the two roots, are x equals 3/4 and x equals 0. Okay, the last example, example 4, y squared minus 5y plus 6 equals 6y minus 18. We're going to take everything to the left side and make it equal 0. So that becomes negative 6y, and this becomes positive 18. So now, on the left side I have y squared minus 11y plus 24 equals 0. So now I can factor it. 24 on top and negative 11 on the bottom. So the two numbers that multiply are negative 8 and negative 3. So now I have y minus 8 times y minus 3 equals 0. The two answers are y equals 8, because 8 minus 8 gives me 0, and y equals positive 3, because 3 minus 3 is also 0. So those are the two solutions, or roots, or x-intercepts. Or y, well, in this case, y-intercepts. Okay, we're done.